The SEAL general questioned her until he saw the M82 and the sniper pin and froze. The briefing room was silent. Maps glowed softly on the wall screens. Navy SEAL operators stood in a loose formation, boots planted, weapons secured. At the front of the room, a Navy SEAL general reviewed the lineup with a sharp, unforgiving gaze. This was not a place for mistakes or surprises. Then his eyes stopped. On her. She stood near the back, calm, motionless, uniform plain. No medals displayed, no attempt to draw attention. To anyone else, she looked out of place, too quiet, too still. The general frowned. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice cutting through the room. Every head turned. She didn't rush to answer. She didn't straighten or defend herself. She simply met his gaze. "Sir," she said evenly. The general took a step closer, eyes narrowing. "I don't remember approving a civilian observer for this operation." A murmur spread through the room. A few operators exchanged looks. Some smirked. Others watched carefully. She remained silent. The general's patience thinned. "You don't look like SEAL support. You don't look like command. So tell me, why are you here?" Slowly, deliberately, she reached down. The room tensed. She lifted a long, heavy rifle case and laid it gently on the table. The sound alone changed the atmosphere. Metal on steel, solid, purpose-built. The general's eyes flicked to the case, then to her shoulder. That's when he saw it. A small, worn sniper pin, old, understated, but unmistakable to anyone who had ever served deep enough to know its meaning. The smirks vanished. A few SEALs stiffened. The general froze, not out of fear, but recognition. He knew that pin. He knew the rifle shape inside that case. And suddenly, the question in his mind wasn't, "Who is she?" It was, "What has she done to earn that?" The silence grew heavy, because once the case opened, nothing in that room would be the same again. This was united war, and the general was about to realize he had just questioned the wrong sniper. The general didn't speak. He stepped closer to the table, eyes fixed on the rifle case, as if it might move on its own. Around the room, Navy SEALs straightened, the casual confidence draining from their posture. She reached forward and unlatched the case. Click, click. The sound echoed louder than it should have. She lifted the lid. Inside lay the M82, long, heavy, unmistakable. The rifle was worn, not polished. Every scratch told a story. This wasn't a display weapon. This was a tool that had been used and survived. A low murmur rippled through the room. The general inhaled slowly. "That rifle hasn't been issued to anyone outside Tier 1 in years," he said. She nodded once. "It wasn't issued to me either, sir." That answer alone silenced the room. The general's eyes shifted to the sniper pin again, small, faded, sewn into her uniform where only someone who knew would look. His expression hardened, not with anger, but calculation. "Where did you earn it?" he asked. She didn't give a location. She didn't give a date. "Overwatch, when no one else could." A few SEALs glanced at each other. That single word carried weight. Deep insertion, long hours, impossible patience, and the kind of pressure that broke most shooters. The general circled the table slowly, studying the rifle, the pin, and finally, her face. "You don't wear rank. You don't list a unit.
and yet you're standing in my briefing room with a weapon that outranks most of the men here." She met his eyes. "Rank doesn't keep people alive, sir." The room went dead quiet. The general stopped walking. For the first time, the power dynamic shifted. This wasn't defiance. It was truth, delivered without arrogance. One of the SEAL commanders cleared his throat. "Sir, if she's here, there's a reason." The general nodded slowly, eyes never leaving her. "There is, and I want to hear it." She closed the rifle case, not with ceremony, but finality. "Your operation crosses open terrain, high wind, long sight lines. You'll be seen before you reach cover." She tapped the case lightly. "I'm here because your men won't make it through without me." No one challenged her. No one laughed. The general folded his hands behind his back. "Then," he said carefully, "you'll brief us." Every SEAL in the room realized it at the same time. She wasn't being questioned anymore. She was being listened to.
The desert wind howled across the ridge, bending heat and sound alike. From her overwatch position, the world narrowed into distance, angles, and breadth. Below, the SEAL team moved in staggered formation, small against the vast terrain. The general watched the live feed from the command vehicle, arms crossed, jaw set. This was the terrain she warned them about. Open ground, no forgiveness. She lay prone, the M82 anchored into the dirt like it belonged there. Wind meters flickered. She adjusted without hesitation, fingers steady, mind silent. Then she saw it. Movement on the far ridge, almost invisible. A hostile spotter, tucked into shadow, radio already raised. If that signal went out, the mission was over before it began. She keyed her mic. "Contact, far ridge, 1 shooter, 10 seconds. The general leaned forward. "Confirm." "I don't need 10, she replied. The M82 thundered. The shockwave rolled across the valley. Even miles away, the sound was unmistakable, deep, violent, final. On the screen, the hostile dropped. No second shot. The SEAL team below never broke stride. The general didn't move. He stared at the feed, then at the ballistic readout. Distance confirmed, wind correction perfect. That shot wasn't just skill. It was experience earned the hard way. Minutes later, the team advanced into what should have been a kill zone. Instead, they found empty positions, enemy fighters pulling back, shaken by a threat they couldn't see. She stayed still, scanning, breathing slow. Another contact appeared, then another. 2 targets, moving fast, she said calmly. 2 shots followed. 2 silhouettes fell. The general exhaled slowly, something like disbelief crossing his face. He had commanded for decades. He had seen the best shooters in the world. But this was different. This was someone who had survived where others hadn't. As the team reached cover safely, the general straightened. "That overwatch just saved the mission," he said quietly. No one disagreed. From her position, she never looked up, never celebrated. She just kept watching. Because legends don't stop when they're noticed. They stop when everyone else is safe. The operation ended without a single casualty. As the SEAL team exfiltrated, dust trailing behind them, the general remained inside the command vehicle, eyes fixed on the screen long after the feed went dark. He had reviewed thousands of missions in his career, but this one had changed something fundamental. Back at base, the team assembled in the same briefing room where the questioning had begun. The atmosphere was different now, quieter, heavier. She stood exactly where she had before, near the back, calm, unassuming. The general entered. Every SEAL snapped to attention. He didn't go to the front. He walked straight toward her. He stopped. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then he raised his hand and froze, not in hesitation, but in recognition. He lowered it slowly, turned and faced the room. "Some of you wondered why she was here.
Some of you questioned her presence. No one spoke. He turned back to her, eyes dropping once more to the sniper pin, worn, faded, earned the hard way. I've seen that pin twice in my life. Both times it meant men came home who shouldn't have. The room went still. He looked at the M82 resting beside her. That rifle doesn't belong to a unit. It belongs to a moment, when failure is not an option. Then, in front of every SEAL present, the general saluted. Not for rank, not for protocol, but for mastery. She returned the salute, brief, respectful, exact. Nothing more was needed. The general stepped back. If she tells you to move, you move. If she says hold, he added, you hold. Because today, she didn't just protect this mission. He paused. She protected my command. She closed the rifle case, shouldered it, and turned toward the exit. No applause followed, only silence, the kind reserved for things that cannot be explained without experience. As she walked out, one SEAL finally whispered, "Now I understand." The general didn't look away. So do I. This was united war, where the quietest presence carries the heaviest weight, and where even a general knows when to stand still.